They tried to take my dog, not a dangerous dog, not a barking nightmare, a 6-pound rescue named Biscuit, who had literally never bitten anything except a squeaky toy shaped like a mailman. And the woman leading the charge? Karen Mitchell, HOA Board President, self-appointed queen of Maplewood Estates, the kind of woman who measured her neighbor's grass with an actual ruler and reported violations like she was filing federal charges. But here's what nobody knew yet, what would eventually blow the entire neighborhood wide open. Karen wasn't trying to protect the community. She was trying to protect a secret. My name is Daniel, and I moved into Maplewood Estates in March with my wife Priya, our 2 kids, and Biscuit, our golden brown Chihuahua mix who weighed less than a laptop. 3 days after we arrived, a letter appeared under our door, crisp, laminated, signed by the HOA board. Dear resident, per Section 12, Clause B of the Maplewood HOA Covenant, all dogs above 10 pounds require board approval. Dogs under 10 pounds must still be registered. Unregistered pets are subject to fines up to $500 per day. We registered Biscuit immediately, paid the $75 fee, submitted his vaccine records, a photo, even his adoption papers. 2 weeks later, another letter arrived. Your registration has been denied. No reason. No appeal process listed. Just denied. That's when I started asking questions, and Karen Mitchell started making enemies. I went to the next HOA meeting prepared. I had Biscuit's papers, his vet records, photos of him sitting in a baby stroller. This dog was practically a therapy animal. The meeting was held in Karen Mitchell's living room, because of course it was. 7 neighbors sat in a circle. Karen sat at the head, wearing a blazer, to a neighborhood meeting in her own house. I presented everything, calmly, professionally. Karen smiled, that tight practice smile that never reached her eyes, and said, the board has reviewed your submission and determined that Biscuit's breed classification poses an unacceptable liability risk to Maplewood Estates. Breed classification. Biscuit is a Chihuahua mix. I asked her which breed specifically was the liability. She shuffled papers and said, that information is confidential under board deliberation rules. The room went quiet. Even her allies looked uncomfortable. That night, our neighbor Marcus, a paralegal who'd lived in Maplewood for 11 years, knocked on our door. He looked left and right before stepping inside. Daniel, he said, you're not the first. There have been 4 other pet denial cases in the last 2 years, all of them minorities, all of them on the north side of the development. My stomach dropped. And every single denial, Marcus continued, was signed off on by Karen. But the other board members, most of them had no idea what they were actually approving. The signature on our denial letter suddenly looked very different. This wasn't about Biscuit, this was about us. Marcus and I spent 2 weeks quietly collecting documents, HOA meeting minutes, approval records, denial letters. We cross-referenced every pet registration submitted over 4 years. The pattern was undeniable. 17 approvals, all residents from the south side, predominantly white. 6 denials, all north side residents, every single one a family of color. Different breeds, different circumstances, same result. But that wasn't even the worst part. Marcus pulled the original HOA financial records, ones Karen had stopped distributing at meetings 18 months ago. What we found made my hands shake. Karen Mitchell had been quietly redirecting HOA maintenance funds, small amounts at first, $200 here, $400 there, but compounded over 3 years, it totaled just under $47,000. Where did it go? Landscaping invoices paid to a company called Brightview Premium Services, a company with no website, no license, no reviews, a company registered under her maiden name. She had been billing the entire neighborhood to maintain her own property. We brought everything to board member Raymond, a quiet accountant who'd been on the board for 6 years and genuinely had no idea what Karen had been doing in his name. His face went pale reading through the documents. She told us the finances were being handled by an outside firm, he whispered. She is the outside firm, Marcus said. Raymond called an emergency board session that Friday. Karen arrived, confident, blazer pressed, folder in hand, completely unaware that Raymond had already forwarded everything to the state HOA regulatory office and a civil rights attorney. She walked into her own verdict. Karen sat down at that emergency meeting, still smiling, still performing. Raymond slid the financial records across the table without a single word. The smile didn't disappear slowly. It collapsed, all at once, like a building being demolished. Her eyes darted around the room looking for allies. Every face stared back cold. "This is taken completely out of context," she started. "Karen," Raymond said quietly, "Brightview Premium Services was dissolved this morning by the State Business Registry. We made one phone call." She tried 4 more explanations in the next 8 minutes. Each one contradicted the last. The civil rights attorney filed a formal discrimination complaint the following Monday, covering all 6 denial cases. The state regulatory board launched a full financial audit within the week. Local news picked up the story by Wednesday. By Friday, Karen Mitchell had resigned from the board, been formally removed from her self-appointed committees, and was facing both civil litigation and a criminal fraud investigation. Biscuit was officially registered that same afternoon. Raymond personally delivered the approval certificate to our door. He shook my hand and apologized, genuinely, without excuses. The new interim board sent letters to all 6 denied families with full refunds and formal apologies. Maplewood Estates never looked more peaceful than the weekend Karen's moving truck pulled out. Biscuit watched from the window, tail wagging. He had no idea he had brought down an entire empire. But we did. And sometimes the smallest ones expose the biggest secrets. If this story moved you, shocked you, or made your jaw drop, smash that like button, share this with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe so you never miss our next story. Drop a comment below and tell us, where are you watching from? We read every single one.